see. I am the greatest combat athlete of all time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Tell the Tape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And on today's episode of Tell the Tape, that's right, we have a rematch coming. That's right, this Saturday, Mexican Independence Day. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. Was the first fight a fluke? What is it that Alexa Grasso has to do to be able to retain her title? And what is it that Valentina Shevchenko needs to do to become champion once again? Guys, this episode would be possible without our sponsors. That's right, Cookie Co. With the best quality cookies in the country. Again, with all natural ingredients. You guys like cinnamon swirl. You guys love cookies and cream. Guess what, guys? They have it all. So make sure to go to cookieco.com and get your munchie on. Enough talk. Let's take it to the big screen. So here we have it, Alexa Grasso 16-3 versus Valentina Shevchenko 23-4. That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of fights for both of these girls. 4 KOs to, 2 submissions to 8 KOs to 7 submissions. They're both the same height, both have the same reach, just a little the elder and maybe an advantage, I guess you want to say. It depends though. Age is just a number at times, When I see the Tell the Tape right off the back, something that really comes to mind that really surprises me is Alexa Grasso with that. For as much power as she actually has, she only has 4 KOs. But this is one area where Alexa Grasso has become so much better. I know a lot of the guy who she's training with, and you're like, man, she's legit a high level jiu-jitsu player. To Valentina's 8 KO and then 7 submissions. In other words, the person who's a little more well-rounded and more experienced, it is Valentina Shevchenko. But without further ado, let's start off with the current champ, Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso, what are her strengths? Her strengths right now for Alexa Grasso is the power. Power in her hands, and particularly in the sport of boxing. This girl has a left hook. I remember drilling with her, going with her. She can throw hands. She cracks like a dude. This is why I'm a bit surprised that she only has 4 KOs, but the power in her hands is what actually makes Alexa Grasso dangerous to all these girls at flyweight. And the other thing that I will say is she's really good on bottom. Like being good on bottom now, it's like we saw the fight with Carla Esparza when she got taken down and she was going for submissions. We've seen her in the past. She has gone so much better in that position. She's putting a lot of attention into her jiu-jitsu game. Her belief in herself, her belief, obviously getting a chance to get to know her, of one day that she would become champion. The belief that she has of not just becoming champion, but also her goal is to live a legacy of becoming the greatest Mexican woman fighter of all time, but even going for that Amanda Nunes title. And obviously, it's her experience. Her experience is the fact that she's gone with some of the best people in the world, from Tatiana Suarez to Carla Esparza, to a lot of these girls, to fighting Valentina Shevchenko, to fighting the UFC for such a long time and find the top contenders. But now, guys, let's get to none other than her actual weaknesses. And this is one thing that I will say, and this is sometimes when you fall in love with these too much, you just don't know how to mix the fight. And that's one thing. Does she know a little bit of everything? Does she know a little bit of wrestling? Of course. Does she know a little bit of jiu-jitsu? Of course. Does she know boxing? 100%. Does she know Muay Thai, knees? 100%. But does she have the ability of actually mixing it all together? That's the questions that I have. And that's all. She pretty much just relies the majority of her fights is all strictly hands. Everything that she does, it's like she's just wanting it to throw a 1-2 or that left, right hand. Her stance. Her stance to me is like the biggest no-no that I see in her. She's super wide, because when people do rely on their hands so much, they become a lot more wide on their base, which makes it so much harder for them to be able to let go of kicks or takedowns, because so much of your defense of your base is long. That means you're gonna potentially use more hands. And the other thing too, as good as she is on bottom, she, you get to her legs, there's something about Alexa Grasso, there's one area that she needs to work on, is her takedown defense. Because if she can continue to keep putting it on her feet and doing damage there, I think that's what she could take it to the next level. But that being said, she's easily taken down. That's one area where you want to be careful against a girl like Valentina Shevchenko. But now, let's go with the one and only, the greatest flyweight champion, women's flyweight champion of all time, Valentina Shevchenko. What makes her special is her championship experience. It's not just her experience, but her championship experience. The fact that she's been able to fight people 5 rounds time and time again. She's done more 5 rounds than 3 rounds that she's ever done in her whole entire life. And there's a threshold to that. And I think that's where someone like Valentina Shevchenko, it's the experience. It's not the Muay Thai. It's not the striking. It's the experience of competition. The unpredictability. The unpredictability of Valentina Shevchenko. She could kick, she could knee, she could take down, she could submit on bottom like she did with Juliana Pena. There's things up her sleeve that makes her that makes her the greatest women's flyweight champion of all time. And she's good everywhere. She has the ability of mixing. She's good everywhere, and she mixes her fighting. She's good everywhere, and she can mix her fighting. But the biggest thing for me with a girl like Valentina Shevchenko is, does she have the ability to make adjustments in that fight? And that I will say she does. So she has the ability of actually mixing her fighting and then the ability to make adjustments in that fight. When she was losing to Juliana Pena, and I was there, I was at that fight in Denver. Like, Juliana Pena was just wrestling her to death. And this girl decided to put herself in a position where she could armbar Juliana Pena and eventually got the submission and eventually got the victory. She's been able to be in these positions time and time again, and she's been able to make those adjustments while mixing her fighting. But let's get to my favorite part, the weaknesses. Valentina Shevchenko's weaknesses. She doesn't carry that Alexa Grasso power. She can knock you out with her feet, she can submit you, but like to have like that one hitter quitter like Alexa Grasso, I just don't think that's necessarily her gift. Does she stop people? Does she TKO people? Yeah. But does she have that crazy power like a girl like Alexa Grasso? And the answer is no. My biggest thing too, even with her, is her stance. She's a little too high, but that's her. There's not a problem with being too high, but there's something like, she does like a little bounce that I think at times it puts her in position, because what comes up must come down. And as the bounce continues to keep happening, you just don't know what is it that the timing of you looking for something, you could also telegraph it. It's like the little bounce. Like, we're gonna know she's either gonna go, or you could potentially eventually catch her just because of the up and down movement. And at times she gets too fancy. The same way she got caught with Alexa Grasso, the same way she lost that fight, is the same way that could maybe cost her again. You don't have to do those spinning back kicks. You don't have to do anything out of the norm. So sometimes she can get too fancy, and I think that's also what cost her in that last fight. But the keys, yeah, here we have it. I'm sorry, not the keys. I was joking. Let's go over the punch stats here. Strikes landed per minute, 4.88 to 3.29. Strikes absorbed per minute, 4.07 to 1.9. That means this girl has better defense. Striking accuracy, 43 to 53. Takedown defense. We gotta go with Valentina again. And then takedown accuracy. I mean, if you notice, all of this is going on the line of a girl like Valentina Shevchenko. Strikes landed per minute, obviously the youth. The one thing that I will say about all this, is Alexa has power. And for this style of the tape, I want to make it a little bit different because I want to give keys. I want to give keys not only to Alexa Grasso, but also to Valentina Shevchenko. Because will we say and still, or will we say and new? Keys for Alexa Grasso. The number one key for Alexa Grasso right now is going to be her patience. Did I spell it right? Yeah, okay, good. I got it. I got one. Her patience. I think the biggest thing for her is gonna be her patience. Followed up with her patience is gonna be her power. Is her power. You know, crazy right hands, crazy left hooks, like this girl could crack. And the third key is can she keep it? Striking. Can she keep it on her feet against a girl like Valentina Shevchenko? If Alexa Grasso could be patient, find the right timing for power, and keep it on her feet, I do believe that we could potentially say and still. But without further ado, let's go over the one and only, you know, the bullet, Valentina Shevchenko. The biggest thing for me in this fight is, for a girl like Valentina, it's gonna be two things. Distance and movement. When you get guys when you get people that are really aggressive, like you can take them out of their element, you can take them out of the game as you use the distance a little further out of the way, and then use more movements. You know, if she's able to do that, not be able to get caught with certain things, you know, play the distance game, use a lot of movements, I think that could be a lot of things, you know. And the other thing too is because of Alexa Grasso's stance. Can she invest in kicking? Can she not mix it so much and really just keep it basic? Can Valentina just stick to kicking that lead leg that's very wide, that's very boxing heavy, to be able to kick it and be able to invest in something like that? Because if you notice that last fight, there was really no investment. When fighters are able to start kicking like Israel Adesanya and people like that, like when they invest in a certain thing, they start to chop you down, they start to break your foundation, and then they start bringing in the hands. And then the third key for this is her tactics. Her tactics. Can she be tactical? Is she gonna have the ability of make those adjustments of still round one, still round two, still round three? Is she gonna be able to set traps for a girl like Alexa Grasso? Because that girl's gonna come in. She's coming like a bull. They're fighting on Mexican Independence Day, and things are about to get heated. So again, my overview for a girl like Valentina Shevchenko is gonna be her distance, her movement. Can she invest in her kicks? And particularly that lead leg of Alexa Grasso. And then 3, her tactics. Is she gonna be able to use all that experience to be able to outwit the younger Alexa Grasso? So who's gonna win this fight? Guys, that's up to you guys to watch. I've been wrong with Sean O'Schmelly, and I've been wrong with Sean Strickland. Right now, I don't even know if I wanna make predictions again, but I will give advice on how that they actually have to win. You know, if Valentina is able to make these adjustments, I think she can retain that title once again. If Alexa Grasso is able to find a good game plan, put the pressure, be patient, she could beat a girl like Valentina Shevchenko. Time will only tell. You guys tune in September 15th, Mexican Independence Day. Again, guys, a big shout out to our sponsor. That's right, Cookie Co. With the best all-natural ingredients in the United States. You guys have a sweet tooth like Triple C, you guys make sure to go to cookieco.com and find a local store near you. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C, and we are